What's up, SAFL? And once
Yo,
again, we are live. Me and my man Adam here. Ready for this week 4 podcast? Well, week 3. This is the fourth podcast, fourth episode. As y'all can see, the episode name over there is Growing Pains, because I think some of you teams are recognizing what it takes to be a good team and win. So let's get to it. Adam, what's good, man?
what's going on, Rob? We are on podcast 4. I'm looking forward to it, man. A lot to talk about.
Definitely lots to talk about. So where do you want to start? Where do you want to start? Should I just throw us right in there?
Yeah, man, let's get right into it.
All right. So let's get to. So we're gonna start with D3. All right. So listen, as y'all know, I hope y'all seen it. We finally got a power ranking out for each division, and starting with D3, we got Browns at number 1, which I think we thought would be number 1. What about you, Adam? Looks about accurate.
Yeah, I mean, they won the game that we sort of thought would decide the favorites. So, with that being said, they're the only 2-0 team. They deserve to be in that top spot.
Thunder at number 2, since they lost to the what is it? They lost to the Browns, so that decided 1 and 2, right? So makes
Yeah,
sense.
it did.
Scotch Tots,
I
new
will.
team.
Yeah, I'm surprised they beat the Wildcats, man. I got to be honest. Wildcats got some cleaning up to do because they were playing a new team, so they got to step it up. But hats off to Scotch Tots. I know they're not newbies to the game, but it looks like we have another team ready to make some noise in this division.
All right, and the Wildcats 0-2. Hey guys, keep your head up, keep working at it. Listen, as I said before in the podcast, my first team. This is your second year in, but it's still a fresh team. My first team, we were 1-8, and we won it on a Hail Mary. So that's the story I'm gonna always tell. It's tough. It's tough out there. All right, so let's move on to D1. Okay, listen, I know D1 is the upper division, but since there's less teams, right, and there's more people in D2, we'll do D2 last. I think D2 has more people that are a little more interested. But D1, I don't think there's any surprise here that Cobra Kai comes in at number 1.
I will say I am surprised, but I think it's because of the points. Well, if you look at it, it's a tie, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah, it's 1A, 1B, so they're both
yeah,
in at 1, but I it, Cobra Kai is the 1, and then the
really.
Browns are the
I might
1A.
have to give that to the Browns, but because look, Cobra Kai has played the two winless teams so far, probably because those two winless teams play Cobra Kai, but they're also the two new teams in the division. So Cobra Kai is a real test this week, but we'll see.
So who are the Browns also played the
Well, they played,
replacements this
yeah,
week,
but they played the Gators week 1.
and they played the Gators week 1. Well,
Yeah.
hey, so they didn't move in spots, so both won. I don't think we can argue with that. That was the tough part about doing this one, because you really had to see who you would put at number 1, and obviously there was no decision that could be made. So they're both number 1. I would think Cobra Kai right now is number 1. The reason being is, watching the last Browns game, I thought the defense could have been much better, and watching Cobra Kai's defense as of recent, they've been locked down.
Yeah.
So, I think both teams are going to move the ball, and of course, they're both going to score points. But one defense, I feel, is playing better than the other defense. It's still early in the season, so.
I um I think the Browns have a little more talent right now. I must say, just watching the two teams. And not to say that Cobra Kai isn't talented, but that Browns team is really, really stacked. Um,
100%.
so they're just, I don't know. I guess it's going to come down to when they see each other. I don't know when that is actually, but um, we'll see.
It
But
has to be soon, right? There's
yeah, it's
only
got to
so
be
much
soon.
games. It has to be soon.
Yeah, it has to be soon.
Um, Gators, I didn't see the game, but I heard there was a different quarterback.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. I know it
Oh,
was a
you were
close
out.
one with
Yeah.
AK. Um, so
Yes.
Yeah.
got the breakdown of this game, and it was I think the score was 25-7, AK going into the half, and the game ended 26-25
Wow.
Gators. That's a lockdown defense. I don't know what happened. I didn't get to see the game, but we'll get maybe we'll get some comments about it later.
21 unanswered is 21 unanswered, man. I don't know how you deny that. But that's like kind of how it goes with the teams in this division. I mean, the AK won, the first half by how much they wanted, and by the second half it was a different story. So that's the way this division is going to go. It looks like
Nothing but elite. That's what happens when
Yeah.
you have nothing but elite teams.
those top four teams, any one of them could be in that top spot when it comes down to it.
Yeah. Now we're AK at number 4. They played the Gators. We went over that. All right. Let's get to the replacement deluxe. I was very impressed watching them this week. Very, very impressed. So I've been hearing the quarterbacks come and the quarterbacks out the week before. And then I finally see him quarterback. I seen him play receiver in the spring, but they said he could quarterback. Everybody says they can quarterback, right? But he wasn't lying. I was very impressed with Dre at quarterback. Running, throwing, just mixing it up, dotting T's, crossing I's. Well, I said that wrong, right? Dotting I's, crossing T's, whatever it is. So very impressive. I actually think they're gonna make some noise. The crazy part is, right, Adam? This division is so good, right? That this team could either rattle off some wins or have a whole bunch of tough losses and still have played great football the entire season.
It sounds like they played that this week with the L. I had the fortunate opportunity to ball out with Dre a little bit before I went away for vacation last weekend. So I got to see him. And I knew when he was on the field, they'd be a different team. So I'm not surprised to hear that they played the Browns as tough as they did. Yeah, man, they just need a couple weeks to gel. The season's a grind, and it's a process. I can't imagine that they're going to not surprise a few teams when the time comes. But kudos to them, man. They got a unit. They're ready to go. And Dre, early rookie of the year candidate.
Absolutely.
If he can, I know he can play defense too. So you're looking at Iron Man of the year candidate, and
as a QB, has that ever been done?
Depending on how the season goes, you might have an MVP candidate there too, man. He might run the gamut. We'll see.
But like I said, he was very impressive this week. Yeah, very impressive.
Good for that. He surprised a lot of people. He surprised his own teammates. But listen, that's what it's about, man. They're looking real sharp. I can only imagine they're going to get better.
Now let's move on to your team, the Assassins.
Yeah,
Adam, you know what? I'm going to let you take this one, right? What is this team missing? I know what I think the issue is. What is this team missing?
So, a few things. First, we haven't fielded a full team yet.
Okay.
But that being said, I would be lying to you if I thought it was enough to justify the way we've been losing. I think, look, I said it last week. I'll say it this week. These aren't newbies to the game. We have real-time football players who have come in this league and made an impact before, helped us win games. We're missing continuity. We're missing chemistry. And I think we're missing some stability on offense. We need to figure out the offensive piece so our defense can then play with the athletes that we have. Because defense is a little more like, are you a football player or not? We're football players. We just need to get something on offense going. We need to start clicking. 40-0 is unacceptable. I know it. My team knows it. But like I said, it's a long season. It's a process. But right now, we just need to develop some chemistry and find some consistency in who we put out there.
Okay. See, I have my thought, but I'm gonna hold my thought. Right? I'm gonna hold my thought. I'll watch a couple more weeks before I condemn what I think needs to be the big change.
Well, why are you gonna hold?
Why am I gonna hold my thought? Because I've watched I watched the first game, and my reasoning in that game may be it's wasn't the same for that entire game. So
Right.
I don't want to say something and then have to eat my words later. So I'm gonna wait.
Got it.
All
Got
right.
it. But yeah, no, we got to figure it out, man. Because this week we got the Browns,
Oh
so it doesn't
boy,
get
it
any easier.
doesn't get any easier.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, so it goes in D1, man. So it goes.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna move on to the big division. Jesus, these 10 teams, man. Listen, let me tell you something. Putting this list together with these 10 teams, then you forget that there's 10 teams and you're like, oh, I missed two. I missed two teams. This is amazing. All right. Hold on. I got to move something off the screen. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Blocking our screen. All right. There we go. So coming in at number one, and honestly, if you've been watching and you know anything about D2, this should be no surprise. Sleepers right now are the team to beat. Adam, what do you think?
Um. Yeah. I can't really deny that. They look like they have something to prove. I think adding Anthony Lewis, adding Earl, uh, Anthony De Palma. I mean, that offense is humming. And I think last week I alluded to the idea that they may not have playmakers, although I was correcting myself in the podcast. But like real real competitors, they just took that little bit of a bit
Uh,
and they ran with it and they used it. And I ate my words, man. They balled out. Good for them. They're looking like the team to beat right now, as they should. Uh, Kudos to them, man. They're killing it.
Trust me, they hear everything that is said, and they use it as fuel in the next game, especially when we talk about the team that they're playing. After the game, if they win, they're like, "Oh, who are those guys?" Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh, we forgot to listen. So last year it was Marv leading the way as receiver. They had Alfiz, but maybe he wasn't used to the capacity that he should have been used at. Now they're using him to the capacity that he should have been used at.
So I mean, I think for the new teams, they should take this as a lesson because, like, so remember what it was last year? It was Marv, it was Alfiz, it was a few other guys. But
Mm-hmm.
what that creates is this. It creates mismatches, right? Because then the teams who have spent more time recruiting, they can take their top two guys, put them on their top two guys, and then you get a
Mm-hmm.
mismatch like three to five, right? But now, because you got Anthony, because you got the other Anthony, because you got Earl, it becomes pick your poison because now you don't just need to hone in on Marvin Alfiz. You gotta look out for Anthony because if you focus on Marvin Alfiz, well, Anthony's gonna burn you. If you focus on Anthony, Marvin Alfiz are gonna burn you, or Earl's gonna burn you, or Anthony Palmer's gonna come back in the backfield and burn you. So they created this dynamic on their offense where now the poison's coming from multiple directions, and you really don't know.
Mm-hmm. So who are you going to stop? That's
Exactly,
basically
exactly. And then
somebody's
just
going to
the
have an
one-on-one.
edge. And not for nothing. Like I know I didn't mention the other players, right? But his name slips my mind right now. He's bald with glasses. He's like their what's that Ravens receiver? He's a possession guy on their team. He's bald with glasses. I cannot remember his name right
Mark
now. I am
Andrews.
so sorry. The guy on the sleepers.
Yeah,
He
I know who
was
you're talking about, but you're talking
yeah,
about Mark
he was
Andrews. Or,
big. No, this is an old Ravens guy. Never mind. I can't.
yeah,
When I think of it, it'll come to me.
it's a compliment.
Yeah, it's a compliment. So because he's the possession guy. Like this is the guy you go to. Like you need 10 yards right now. You can throw it to him and get it. So just because we mentioned the
Yeah.
guys that are there big time stars, don't mean that the other guys aren't just as good. It's just they got to fall into their roles. I seen a video, which I hope is a testament to what the team is. It was Alfie's making a catch, and I think Marv or somebody was on the sideline, hype as hell about it. Now that's just telling that they're happy for each other to be successful, and that's how you have a successful team. So,
That inter team dynamics is so important. It's so important. And they have it. No, they're gonna be right there in the thick of it, man. They good for them.
all right, let's move on to number 2. The Gladiators, a new team to the league. Listen, let me tell you something. I like these guys. I love this team. This team is a fun team. They do a lot of talking, but a lot of the times they're cursing, they're getting at each other. I guess hyping each other up, or but then they found a way to get it done. So they're 2-0. I've done all of their games, surprisingly, and I think I'm doing their game this week here. They find sometimes mid-game, little things happen where I feel they can beat themselves, but they've come out of it and won the game in the end. If they clean those things up, they it may be flawless. You know what I mean? They just have to not try to beat themselves. Some of the penalties, some of the arguing with each other. You guys are winning. Just keep it civil,
That might be part of what makes them click, right? Sometimes you got to push one another to really bring that intensity on the
That's
field.
exactly what they're trying to do. It
Yeah.
works. It works.
Hey, and they beat Suicide Squad this week, right? So
Yes.
they beat a championship team, man. That says a lot. Big statement game out of them. James, I know from previous experiences as
Stud.
a baller. Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to watch all of them play just yet, together. But I can see that the result is there. Proofs in the pudding. They're 2-0. They just beat the spring champions. So hats off to them, man. That's what you want to see out of your team. Now they just gotta, maintain that level of play throughout the season. But it looks like they can be able to do it. So nobody sleep on the Gladiators at this point. They're one of the favorites.
Usman is showing some leadership on that team. I love it, man. They're actually one of my favorite teams to watch. That game was amazing, by the way. Them versus Suicide Squad. Let me say this: Suicide Squad was undermanned, but the game was an amazing game. That might have been the game of the week
I
if
know
you were
Suicide
able
Squad
to
was
see
missing
that.
Hasib.
Yeah, yeah. They
Were
were
they
well.
missing?
That's undermanned.
Yeah,
That's their best. That's their best guy.
I'll give
So
it. Yeah.
they they still put up a great effort because Jay runs a good O and all that stuff, and everybody out there was doing their thing, and it came down to a final drive by the Gladiators to win the game, down 1 point. It's
Hey,
like it was they're resilient and they don't quit, and they just play to the end and got it done.
love to see it. Congratulations to them. You guys are killing it.
All right, down to number 3, Suicide Squad. Well, we just talked about them because they played the Gladiators. A little undermanned this week. Jay still did his thing. They're down 2 spots because going in with a full team, I would have had them up there at number 1 and then sleepers. But it's early in the season. Don't panic. I know there's no panic over there. Those guys will be there.
Agreed. Nothing to add to that.
Now we go to your Thunder. Adam, here you go. You could take this
We
one.
won 25-0 this week. We still haven't had a full team yet, but we were only missing me this week, I believe.
Okay.
So we had Q back, we had Jesse back, we had Curtis back. And when you put those guys together with Brian, Wakas, Justin G, my brother, it's a different monster. I haven't seen the Outlaws play too much, but I know what my guys can do. I'll say this, man. I think we are undefeated for any time in the last 2 seasons that Jesse has not had to play quarterback and he's been on the field.
Okay, so that's the key. Jesse show up, somebody else play quarterback.
He's a ball hawk, man, on the defensive side of the ball. So our zone scheme, I'm not going to reveal what we do exactly, but it was implemented by him last season. And he's very integral to it.
Gotcha.
But when he does it better than anybody because he knows it. So between him, Q, Brian now, I mean, any one of those guys can take over a game. I feel incredibly lucky to have them on our team. It's a blessing to being myself, the fifth or sixth option on the team at this point. Um, so, yeah, man, I think as long as we can keep our roster, steady, we'll be good.
Attendance.
Yeah.
Attendance. Well, I actually have. I think I've refed every Outlaw game, and I may have refed both Thunder games. I actually refed this game, and it was I okay. So the game seemed closer than the score was, right?
Right.
It could have been a 50-0, and at the same time I felt it could have been 21-21 I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody,
No, it does. Yeah.
but just the way the game was going. And then I'm like, you guys still have some things to clean up. I'm not worried about you guys at all. I got veterans all over the roster. You guys have a whole bunch of things to clean up. So sorry, I said that wrong. You guys have some things to clean up, but it's not, there's no worry. You guys are polished. You guys will be there in the end. In my opinion, the Outlaws, a new team. This episode is basically for them. Like, you are gonna figure out it's hard. It's really, really hard. They're doing some things good. They need to learn. I told them at the end of the game, your studs are your studs, right? I know when you put a team of friends together, you have the tendency to think that everybody needs to play equal minutes, right?
Yeah.
When you're the stud, you play until you decide you have to walk off. Like, you go get some rest. Maybe you took a long play back, because when you're not out there, it doesn't happen as easy for the rest of the team. You need the star out there so everybody else falls in line. So they just need to realize that. Like, sometimes I see guys that I feel are the offensive weapons on the bench for long extended periods of time. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So
everyone's got to figure that out. Yeah, everyone's got to pick and choose what they're good at and execute on that. And then what happens is you become a weapon. You don't need to be a jack of all trades. You just need to be good at one or two things, and that your stars be your stars.
Mm-hmm. Compliment your stars, guys. Compliment your stars.
The sleepers have done what we did last year, which was before last year, our team was led by like me. And like, to be honest, like not that I'm a scrub, but like I certainly can't do the things that Q does, that Jesse does, that Brian does, even that Curtis does, right? But I can do what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And when I added those guys, along with getting my brother more playing time, adding Justin G, a couple other guys, we all began to compliment one another, because Q is obviously our dump off guy. He could take it to the house. Now you got Brian, he could take it deep. You got Jesse, he's a monster in the red zone. You got me and Curtis and Justin and Nasim in the intermediate. We all do our thing. So I think the Outlaws should probably adopt some of that mentality, the way we did, the way the Sleepers have, the way Suicide Squad does. That's how you start winning games.
Absolutely. Know your position. Know it like okay. When I played, I don't if it was a team that maybe I would consider myself the best guy, they want me on the field. They should want you on the field, because you're the chain mover or something. Like me, I was a chain mover. So I keep the ball moving, and all of a sudden the other guys get wide open downfield. Because why? Because they look, the tension's here. Like it's football's the ultimate team sport. That's just how it goes. Like, no matter what, unless you're just some of the D1 teams may be star-studded where everybody does everything. If your team isn't built like that, play a role. Do what you do best, the best for your team. And that's it. Could be something little, but it may be what the team needs.
I would encourage the Outlaws to go back and watch our last two playoff games from last year. Q and Jesse never came off the field for 2 games straight.
As they shouldn't.
If
they can do it.
Until they tapped out themselves,
Mm-hmm.
I was not letting them come off the field. And everybody knew that. From 1 to 12.
Yeah, and when I played you guys, Q was on me the entire game. Anytime I'm out there, Q's on me. Like there's no, that's just how it goes, guys. Team game. You know what? We got a guest in the box. I'm gonna bring him in so he could chime in. Hold on, let me get him on here.
Hey, what's going
I
on,
said,
everybody?
"What's up, my guy?"
Hey, man, what's going on?
You know
How
what?
y'all doing?
You two kind of look alike. No,
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit, right? Just
a
a
little
little.
bit.
You would think there's some sort of resemblance here, right?
Resemblance.
You would think.
Yeah,
You would think.
maybe you're related. Anyway, what's
I'm
up,
not as
man?
handsome, unfortunately.
Nothing much. I literally just got home, like not even like 10 minutes ago from class. So I came on and decided to hop on, see how you guys are doing.
That's what's up, man. I see. Oh, so that's the Eagles guy right there. All right.
Yeah. This is my little setup for the other podcast that I do. So
Gotcha.
yeah, man, got
All right.
my whole thing over here. So
So we were just talking about your Thunder.
yes,
And
sir.
you guys played the Outlaws this week. Shut them out, I think 25-0 or something. What was it?
Yeah,
25-0.
25-0. Yep.
25-0. So give us your take, man. How's your season been going? How do you feel about the team and how the game against the Outlaws?
So I heard you guys say earlier that well, at least Rob, because you were roughing the game
Yeah.
that time. So you saw that, like you said, it felt pretty close throughout the whole game, but I think we were in control of it for the entire thing. Obviously, there were some things that we definitely had to clean up, especially in the red zone, where, like you said, it could have been a 50-0 ball game, but just a miscommunications, just a little bit of lack of continuity with Rocas and the rest of the receivers there. Because, like Adam said, this is basically full roster without him on the field, right? So just finding different spots to play guys throughout the game, getting the ebbs and flows of the whole roster and stuff. Again, like you said, we're not worried about where we are right now. We feel comfortable with what we're doing. Just tiny things we got to clean up. And in the end, that's really what you have to focus on week by week. You just get better every single week. And like you said, in the end, we think we will be in it. We have more talent than we probably have ever had as a Thunder unit, top to bottom. And we trust Rocas as QB. We trust him full-heartedly, so he has all the support in the world. And, he's been there, done that. He's been, a veteran in this league for forever. And, he can light it up whenever he's rolling. So it's up to us to help him out and help him, get his rhythm going, because when he's cooking with grease, man. And you know that better than anybody. So
I got one pointer, right? Rocas, use Q the way you used me. Everything else will be easy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Everything will fall into place, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it was good to see Jesse back. He was just in the right place at the right time for that touchdown in the back.
That dude's a stud. My guy's a stud, man.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, like Adam said, when he's on the field, changes the whole complexion of this team on both sides of the ball. And, there's no player in the league that's like Jesse, who's got the size, who's got the speed, there's not many players like him in Safl at all. So when he's on the field, he really changes the complexion of what this team can do.
All right. So you're gonna stick with us for a little while. You can hopefully you can stick with us for a little while if you.
Yeah, I got time.
All right, cool. So we're gonna move on to the Savages, who I believe played the Browns this week. Yeah,
I think so.
I
Yeah,
think that was right. I haven't seen the Savages, but in the off season, I've practiced a lot with them and seen some of the guys. They have some studs that they've brought in. They brought them in the spring. I think they had some injury issues in the spring, some other issues, lost some players but looks like they're clicking, and back.
Yeah, man. There's no doubt about that. Against, Savages are also a veteran unit like the Browns and even like the Powerpuff Boys, too, another team that we'll talk about. I'm sure you guys are going to talk about later in the show. But this is another team that's kind of been there, done that, a team that understands how this league works. So it's a team that you have to really keep your eye on. I know right now they're kind of in the middle of the pack in terms of the standings, but that's not a team that you want to sleep on because, like you said, they added talent. They have veterans on the squad. And when playoff time comes, they can light up the scoreboard with anybody in the league. So they are definitely a dangerous team. And it's still early on right now. So if they're going to start rolling now, it's going to be, they're going to be a monster come later on in the season.
Well, we got them top 5, so we know the top 4. Not that the Gladiators surprised me, but I thought they would be around 4. They're 2, and then Savages. I don't know where I had them. I haven't really seen them, but I know they're talented. The Browns have surprised me. Usually, this team is led by Shoe. Usually, a Shoe-led team is much more formidable than we've seen with this D2 Browns team. So I haven't seen any of their games. So it's on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. I haven't really seen much of the Browns either, to be honest. But when you have that guy at QB, it's just a matter of them getting to the dance. Once they're in the dance, they're a whole different monster. So as you know intimately, Rob, you know that very intimately. So again, don't count them out. I'm not, I know they're going to be
absolutely
down the
never.
season. So where they are in the standings right now, it's not something to, that's definitely going to change. It's going to change throughout the season. So
Adam, have you seen the Browns?
I've seen them play a little bit week 1. I'm sort of in the same boat where come playoff time, they're probably going to look a lot different. They obviously need to gel a little bit more, but that's a roster full of veterans. And, I mean, Shoe is Shoe, right? So not too worried about them. This whole division, I mean, any one of these teams can take it. But with the Browns, I think if anything – they're going to need to find a little more spark out of their receivers somewhere. If they can get somebody to really take the top off once or twice a game with Shoe, then that generates a whole new offense for him, right? Because then he has that option. I haven't seen that much out of them. I've seen a lot of more like methodical, chip you to death.
Gotcha.
You get 1 or 2, bombs a game. Then they'll be clicking for real.
Okay. All right, so we can move down to Brick Squad. I'm not even, to be honest, I've seen none of their games. I'm not sure I think I know which team is Brick Squad. They played.
So they played Silent Hill.
Yeah.
They tied Silent Hill this week, which is amazing given that they're both rookie teams in this league. Brick Squad is led by Marco. He's their quarterback. We saw them play in our Sunday league. They're really athletic, energetic. They got spark. I'm not going to sleep on them, and I wouldn't let the first 2 weeks and their power ranking have you sleep on them either, because they can light it up. I think what you saw this week between Silent Hill and Brick Squad was a rock and a hard place kind of coming hand in hand, where you got 2 teams full of athletic, energetic receivers who just need to gel a little more, and they literally just clashed. But both teams are really dynamic, so I'm excited to see what they can do.
All right. You know what? Since you said they were in the Sunday league, this is the QB I was talking about last week. I think I played a little bit against them 2 weeks ago in Sunday, and he had arm angles, he can throw at different arm angles. So I was very impressed by that QB. So hopefully big things to come for them. Hey, they don't have a loss, so
that's
technically something. That's something, right? They didn't lose a game yet. So all right, Brick Squad, I hope to see you guys step up the ranking a little bit. All right, now Powerpuff Boys. Yeah, I mentioned them earlier.
Yeah, man.
I'll take this one.
Yeah, go for it.
So, yeah, I'm a little surprised by the 0-2 start. But, this might just be because I think Manjot is QBing for them, so he just might need to get his legs underneath him. I'm not sure if Phil was there this week. I know he's part of the roster.
He was there.
Yeah, he was playing. He was playing.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So they just need to gel a little bit. I have a lot of confidence in the AK guys. They have a pedigree in this league that is very hard to it's hard to touch. So, and they're athletic. So they'll figure it out. 0-2 is pretty surprising to me, though. I hope they figure it out soon, because if they can be another team on top of the teams that are already showing that they have what it takes, I mean, that'll just make this division even more of what it is, which is fun, competitive. So we need them to step it up for sure.
Asif?
Yeah, man. Like my brother said, AK's pedigree, their reputation precedes themselves, right? Like we know what AK can do, despite who's quarterbacking. It's a team that's been together for years. They know what each other likes to do. And again, the 0-2 start, it's like what he said. It's just the quarterback's got to get his arm and his legs underneath him, get used to the rhythm of throwing the ball down the field and stuff. Because a majority of that sleepers game, they were hanging with them for a good chunk of the game. It was really a back and forth game for the most part until the sleepers pulled away at the end. So that is definitely going to be a dangerous team that you really do not want to sleep on, because they're going to give anybody a run for their money, especially once they get used to like having a new quarterback on the field and stuff. So because their talent, it's as good as anybody in the league, and their chemistry is there. They know what each other likes to do. So like I keep saying this about all these veteran teams, but when we get towards the end of the season,
They'll be
you
there.
know, they may be one of the good God Almighty, they may be one of the few last teams standing in your way of a championship. So can't sleep on the Powerpuff Boys. That's a veteran unit. I'm gonna be very excited to play that. I want to see how we stack up with them, because that's gonna be a fun matchup in my opinion. That's a team that I'm looking forward to playing.
All right, I gotta check the schedule for that one. I might have to try to request a referee game, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Then where we at? We already spoke about Silent Hill, who played Brick Squad. They tied. Just you said two athletic teams going at it. Maybe they just matched up well against each other.
Yeah,
So,
I would say that was the case.
and down to the bottom, we already mentioned the Outlaws. Outlaws, man, listen, know your studs. That's it. Know your studs. Like, keep them on the field. Good things
Well,
happen
Rob, you'd
when
be
you.
in the finals.
I will listen. Every time I run, I hurt something nowadays. So this is listen. Know your studs. That's it. Nothing more. Nothing more. All right. Let's see what else I got over here. We're gonna move on to this week's games. So let's do Division 1 first. Replacement Deluxe versus the Gators. That actually sounds very interesting if Dre is quarterbacking and they bring out the team they had last week. This can be a very telling game for replacements. So
Yeah, I'd agree. I don't think RD needs to come out with a win this week either, to be honest. If they can pull one more week off where they're in the thick of it, I'll start expecting wins from them after that. That being said, if they can hang with the Gators, they can hang with anyone in this league. So we'll see. They got Dre at QB now, and he's not surprising anyone at this point. So let's see what they got, man. It's showtime. And Gators
if
don't
they play
sleep
like
on.
if they play like they played last week, they can win this game.
Such.
I don't know if you Asif, did you see them last week?
I caught a little bit of them. Dre's a dog, man. Dre's a dog. I really like watching him play, and he'll yap with you too, man.
Oh, they were
will yap on the field, and he backs up his play, man. You got to respect it. So he's definitely a fun watch. I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch the Gators game with them, but I am excited to see how they're going to look towards the end of the season too, because that looks like a really fun team, a really fun squad to watch and play. So. Yeah, man.
And against the Gators, there's gonna be a lot of chirping.
Yeah, man. That's gonna be a fun one to watch. That should be a fun one to watch.
So now the other D1 game early that morning, CK versus AK. We can't go wrong at 8:30, huh?
No, you cannot. That 8:30 slot is the gauntlet. There's not much to say here, man. Two veteran units that will chop your head off. Let's see who's got a sharper axe this week. That's it.
So I'm dang, I don't know. I mean, I'm watching one of those games. I don't know which one it is, but we'll see. The next D1, D1 Browns versus Assassins.
Oh boy.
Assassins have a tough go starting here, huh?
Yeah, this is a make or break game for us, I think. I'm speaking to my team right now. Forget everybody else. Yo, Let's go. What do we do? I didn't bring you guys on this in this league to be doing this. So let's do it. I got nothing else to say. Browns were coming.
And there we go. The quote. I think that might be the quote of the night, Asif. Browns were coming.
Yeah. Couldn't have said any better myself.
All right. So let's move on to D2. So the first game in D2, Powerpuff versus Outlaws. What do y'all think?
I'm actually interested to hear Rob's thoughts, man. Outlaws are your boys, it looks like. So I want to hear you.
I like the
talk to your
Outlaws,
guys.
man. I do. I really do like
A
the
little bit.
Outlaws. So this is a tough game if the Powerpuff Boys have their players. And it's not to say that the other games weren't tough, but there's guys like Phil that can be very imposing. So maybe the other teams overall may play better, but when you have that imposing player that can change a game, it might be a rough go. But they do have Outlaws do have some defenders. So I don't know. It's interesting to see. This is a telling game for the Outlaws. Telling game for the Powerpuff Boys, but we think they're veterans, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
something's got to give here, right? We'll see.
Yeah, tough game. Asif, no thoughts.
No, again, playing the Outlaws, that's a more athletic group than given credit for too. They have a lot of players who are they're just a little bit out of sorts right now. But like you guys said, the Powerpuff Boys are more organized. My fault, guys. I'm not trying to disrespect any of y'all. Y'all are dogs, man. Y'all are good players. But they're just more organized. They're a veteran unit. And when if they're clicking, and I expect them to click in this game, they could really put it on you. And if the Outlaws are not coming in really ready to play, this game can get out of hand pretty quickly. And like you said, if Phil's on the field, he's imposing because that's a real quality player wherever he is on the field. So I know we're not picking outcomes of games right now, but I'm leaning towards the Powerpuff Boys to come out in this one and get their first win of the year, just because their pedigree speaks for themselves.
All right. Let's move on to Gladiators Silent Hill. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just mute myself. Adam, you can take this one.
Yeah, I can take it. Okay, big game for the units here, both ends of the ball. I think Gladiators probably have the edge right now, just given the momentum and the chemistry. They clearly are a team that is playing together for more than their tenure here. So it's just a matter of, can Silent Hill organize themselves a little bit more? Because I'm not doubting their talent whatsoever. They have it all there. They just got to gel a little bit, make that extra play or two that comes through the organization. If they could do that, I think they could eke it out, but we'll see. The Gladiators are clearly a team to beat in this division. So, but I think this will be a fun game to watch, man. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be a runaway. None of them should sleep on each other. So I'm excited to see how this goes.
True that. Question, man. Is Silent Hill the team that smoked me in the scrimmage before the season began? Is that them? That is them, right?
Yeah,
I'll be honest. They busted my ass, man. I'm not going to front. They really gave it to me. Yeah, man. Like you said, the Gladiators are a team to just be reckoned with. But Silent Hill's got players, bro. They really do. They got athletes all over the field. I'm surprised at their slow start. I thought they would look a little bit more, like you said, organized from the get-go. But again, still early in the season. They have all the talent. This should be a close game because Silent Hill is a talented unit. If they come ready to play, the Gladiators could have a tough one on their hands. So it's going to be that should be a really close game in my opinion. I think Silent Hill is going to come out and have a chip on their shoulder.
I completely agree. So Silent Hill, when they played you guys in the scrimmage, the QB was different.
Yes, yeah, I know they didn't have their actual QB in that game, right? So
no, he arrived later. He came a little later, but that guy that played QB may not be able to play QB during the season because I don't think it's possible he can't play on Saturdays. I actually spoke to him on last Sunday about it. So if he shows up this Sunday, I think he's the one who organizes them.
Yeah.
So they'll be a much different team. So this isn't a runaway victory by the Gladiators who are 2-0. This can be a game right here. So
Yeah, no
they
doubt
have
about
all
that.
the talent, but they got to figure out the QB issues. Wait, somebody, let me, you guys could, let's move on to the next game. I'm just going to answer somebody in the chat. Where are we? Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Sleepers. That's the next one.
What, the 11th?
No, I'm actually.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no,
is,
you're right. You're right.
Yeah, Suicide Squad
Suicide Squad
Sleepers.
Sleepers.
That's
a
if both teams are full powered, that's a game.
That's a big time game, actually. This early on in the season, that's a big time game. I don't know what did the Suicide Squad. What are they? They split their games this year so far, right? I'm not 100% sure of the standings by.
Yeah, they're 1-1. But they didn't have Hasib last week.
Yeah, I said they didn't have their full squad, right? So, Suicide Squad's just a championship team every single year. So, the Sleepers, even though they look formidable this year, this is another game that if you're not coming ready to play, Jason can gut you quick, fast, and in a damn hurry. Because like any other veteran QB, if he's rolling and he picks apart your zone, he really starts to cook. And like once he figures you out, it could be a ball game very, very easily. So sleepers, no pun intended, don't sleep on Suicide Squad. You really got to come out and really take care of business, especially in the early parts of the game. Because if you have Suicide Squad stick around, as everybody knows, Jay can come back from behind and really close the deal, without you even noticing it. So I'm not going to lie. This is going to be a very fun game. I'm going to stick around to really watch that game. That's a game I'm looking forward to watch.
This is going to be an amazing game if they're both full powered. And this is going to change the power ranking very drastically depending on how it goes. It can stay the same, or it's going to propel Suicide Squad straight to the top if they can win this game. So this is a very telling game at this point in the season. I know it's early, but these are two of the teams that may be there in the end.
Definitely not wrong about that, Rob. Definitely not wrong. And honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if Suicide Squad came out with a victory. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be like an upset if all of a sudden the Sleepers drop one against Suicide Squad, because Suicide Squad's a team, like you said, they're as good as any team in the division. And Jay's a veteran QB, been in championship games literally 3 of the last 4 years or something like that from when I've played. So, that's a formidable team. That's a very formidable team.
But you said it best. When Jay gets on the run, man. Listen, they beat us in the spring. When Jay gets on the move, as a defender, it's one of the most annoying things in the world. And it's like he throws better on the run. Yeah. It's crazy to say that. Like, he throws better when scrambling. Like,
yeah, man.
Listen, just hats off to Jay, man.
Yeah, no, he's big time, man. He's big time.
All right. That might be the game of the week.
I agree. I agree.
All right, so now we're moving on to Browns and Brick Squad. This is going to be a good game.
This is a good week,
I'm
man.
sorry.
This is a good week.
Yeah, this is a good lineup of games.
Yeah, I think you're seeing two different styles of football, right? Brick Squad, I think they play a little loose, but they're explosive, and they can beat you in a beat. Browns on the other hand are methodical. They're going to chop you up. I think it's just a matter of, what style wins that day. But I would caution the Brick Squad not to fall asleep on what Shu can do to a defense. It's going to be really frustrating because all those passes are going to look like they're ducks, but those ducks are going to be going for 4, 5, 6 touchdowns. So,
dropping right
ready,
in the receiver's hands.
Don't fall asleep on that. And the Browns, as long as you guys can maintain yourselves and get those 1 or 2 big explosive plays, like I said, I think you can come out with a victory. So we'll see. But two different styles of play as far as I've seen. It's just a matter of what comes out on top this week.
All right. Thunder Savages. You guys are all over this one.
Yeah. I hope Anwar's there just so we can give him an L for leaving us. But look, the Savages are one of the best teams in this division. They've been a good team for a long time. You don't sleep on them. We're going to come ready to play. As long as you have attendance, man, that's really all it comes down to. If we can get our guys to show up, I think we can do some damage. But if not, we'll see. We'll see how we can hold up.
Yeah, man, definitely should be a fun one. Like Adam said, if the squad is there, we're confident we could play and hang with anybody in the division. And it's going to be an exciting one. And like Adam said, we hope to see you one more.
That sounds like some some animosity there for him leaving the team. But hey, you guys got Wakas.
No. It's all love, man. It's all. But when you want to beat the man, you got to beat the man. You want to play teams at their best, right? Like that's what you want. So, absolutely. It's just more fun that way. So, when Anwar's at the helm, they're a different animal. They really are. So, I hope he's there, and it's going to be a fun one if he is. So, excited for that one.
Now we got a guest in the background. I see you there. Just give me 2 seconds. We'll get you on. The man we've been talking about. Let's just run through this.
Yeah. Listen, Rob, before Asif jumps off, I'd love to hear his thoughts on his game coming up and what his thoughts on his team are in Thunder D3, but just the D3 division in general. And then we can let you go, Asif.
Yeah, sure. Appreciate that, man. I'll be quick with it. Again, we're a young team. A lot of the guys last week we had a few new faces that we had to incorporate in the offense. And from week 1 to week 2 was a little bit of a drop off in my play as well. So that's kind of why the score differential was a little bit different. But I'm excited where this team is at this point in the year. And I have a good feeling about what this team could do as we continue to gel. We haven't had a full squad yet. The defense, I'm really surprised by how well the defense has played. Yusuf and Haresh, shout out to them. They've organized the defense super well. And on the offensive end, it's up to me to kind of, figure the system out and figure out what guys like to do. And like you said, Rob, find out who your studs are, keep them on the field, and get them the ball. So I trust the guys on this team. And, in time, we'll start to gel and get a little bit better, guys. So don't you worry. Stick it out with me. We'll get there.
I believe you. All right, Asif.
Cool.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me, man. Fun time.
Of course, bro. Hope to have you again. Make sure you guys check out his podcast. You could give him the name.
Appreciate that. It's the Riding the Bench podcast. It's spelled with a K instead of C in the word podcast. I cover the Philadelphia Eagles, and my friend Justin, he covers the Colts side of things. So please check us out. We have a really good time on that show. And like and support the show. We would really appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
All right,
man.
Bro.
Take care.
See you soon,
All
bro.
right. So now we're gonna bring in our guest tonight. He was supposed to come on. I thought he was coming on. Very impressive this week, showing up to QB. Dre, what's good, my guy?
What's up, y'all? What's up, man?
Listen. I know I came to you on the sideline. I think at halftime, I was like, I was not surprised because I've never seen you QB before, but I've heard, and I was impressed.
Yeah, well, a lot of guys, when they first see me, they're like, oh, this guy's just going to run. That's what a lot of guys think. I'm just going to run the ball. But no, I can throw the ball. And
you showed it this week. You showed it this game here against a tough competitive team.
And what I'm trying to do is keep showing that, I'm a QB. I can play both. I can play QB, I can play receiver, I can play defense. The team we played last week, what was the team name?
The Browns.
The Browns. They were good, but they weren't that good to me.
I love it.
Sorry, I was getting. They scored 2 or 3 times off of dinky throws and flipping it. They weren't really throwing it deep, or they weren't even, throwing it to get a touchdown. It was whack to me. So if I could see more from teams that actually throw the ball and not just do a little dinky throw and then flip it, our guys, what I was telling our guys is we just got to play up on that. You play up, you cut that all off. You split up the guys that are next to each other, split them up. None of that would be happening. So, we're going to get it together. That was my first week down there. But as we start playing more and more games together, don't worry, we'll get it down. We'll get the wins. Everything will fall into place.
Listen, I believe you, and I could hear the leadership in your voice, and I'm sure you're going to get them guys together. Like I said, I was the game. You guys lost the game, but this was your first game out there in this league as a quarterback, because I think you played receiver in the spring, but as a quarterback. So, like for me personally, like I said, I was impressed. I ref the game, so I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, yo, you out there slinging the thing, because you see the speed. You're like, all right, he may be a scrambling QB, but it wasn't just that. It wasn't. It was y'all started chirping a little bit. They say, oh, he's going to run, and then you were like, nah, throw two. Yeah, Adam, they were chirping out there. It was great, man.
It's fun also, talking a little bit. As long as it doesn't lead to nothing else, you just talk a little bit. That's how the game is, So I'm a talker too, You guys, nobody's gonna shut me up, and I'm gonna talk sometimes to make the game more fun. Try to get in people's heads. Sometimes it works, So
especially if you're backing it up.
Exactly. Exactly.
Funny story, when I was first talking to Dre about QBing for the team, I asked him straight up. I was like, yo, can you do this? And he said, hell yeah, I can do this. He goes, I could run, I could throw, and I got a cannon. And I was like, all right. I was like, sure. And then I saw him throw last Thursday, and I texted Hasib right after. And I was like, Hasib, you got a quarterback. Okay. Like, get your guys. You guys are loaded.
Yeah, we'll be
proved it.
Yeah, we'll be a good team where, once I get used to the guys, their speed and everything like that, everything will fall into place. Especially where to put guys. I've been playing. I've been playing with. I've been practicing with Ken. Really. I've been using him differently. Some short, some long, some middle. Just using him in different areas, and he's a great player too. He's a great receiver. So.
Good hands. You hit him with a deep corner.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was
this week.
Yeah. I didn't know that was possible.
It's funny because we were just talking about it today.
Oh yeah. He hit him with a deep corner right down the sideline. Deep play. It had to be 30 yards or something like that. Yeah. Ken doesn't drop much. Not if he drops anything at all. So he's a good sure-handed possession guy, and he's showing he goes downfield early that game. So good to see, man. Good to see.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait for this Saturday with the Gators. I watched a little film from them from their championship game. What was that, last season?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of their championship game, so I see how they play and everything like that. Defense just has to come out strong, play hard, play physical. I'll do my part as a quarterback.
There we go.
So can't wait for that.
Dre, you came out there after me hearing about you, and you didn't disappoint, bro. Like,
thank you, man.
Good. Great. It was great watching that game. I'm looking forward to seeing your future games, reffing the future games, getting to watch the entire game. You get to see a lot as a referee.
Hope get to watch this week at 8:30.
Yeah. I think I might be taking stats for that one. So I think I'm definitely I hope I'm taking stats for that one. Whoever it is, we might have to swap. But that might be the game. Well, shoot, dang, the other game's good too. You know what? We'll see what happens.
The guy that was taking the stats last week, he told me, he was like, you had a good game, man. You were, I think he said 25 for 28, something like that.
So. Yeah, you played great. Listen, I don't want to keep raving about it, but it's not what I expected at all. Adam, a lot of people say they play QB, right? I see there's some people that say they play QB, and then you see them play QB, and you're like,
yeah,
I thought you said you played QB.
25 or 28 against the Browns is no joke.
Yeah, and the Browns are a stacked team, bro. Like that's one of the the top
Yeah, they're my
championship every
favorites.
year team.
Yeah.
So
Amazing. Love to see it.
Yeah, definitely can't wait for this Saturday and to keep showing you guys more each week. So
all right, we're glad. Listen, we're glad to have you. Hope you stick around for future seasons and see your team grow with you as quarterback. You're in D1, man. There's it gets no higher than this division over here. So every week is a game.
that's it. That's it. And I'm ready for it.
All right. Y'all
Thanks.
heard it here. Dre said he is ready for it, and he was not impressed this week by his opponent. I love it. I love it. It makes this next week's gonna be great.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
sir. I'm excited.
Next week. So what we got left, Adam? Did we miss any games?
I think we just got some D3 games. With that, Dre, I don't think you need to stay on for those. But we appreciate you being on. Looking forward to seeing you play. Mark my words, you're not only looking at a Rookie of the Year candidate. When it's all said and done, you might be looking at an MVP candidate.
Rookie of the Year / MVP. Just keep it up, bro.
And that's not a bad season, if you ask me. Thank you, bro.
Thank you,
right, man.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Have a great.
I like it, man. I love the confidence, and I said, he backed up the play. The swag is there. So
the swag. Replacements Deluxe got a team. They're deluxe for a reason.
Yeah.
I named them myself.
Yeah, they listen. I'm looking forward to seeing. Now I'm watching. I'm watching now.
Yeah,
I'm watching
sure.
now.
I think the last game we need to talk about really is Wildcats and Browns, right? D3. Tale of two tapes here, man. Wildcats, they need to come up with something. Browns, they got everything coming up. So let's see what they can do. Wildcats, I think if you keep the game close, build some positive momentum, work on some things. You don't need to come out with the win, but you certainly need to show that you're building on something here. Browns, don't let them do that. If you let them do that, it's anybody's division at that point. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it's the top of the ranking versus the bottom of the ranking.
That's right.
This is going to be a very tough game for you guys, Wildcats. Like Adam said, just build positive habits in this game. Now, a team like the Browns, who I'm going to assume can put up points in this division, maybe you need to work on this clock management, keep the ball away a little bit, use more time so there's less possessions in this game for them to open up a big lead so that you're in striking distance when it comes down. There's lots of ways to manage a football game. So work on that.
Yeah. I think that's it. Oh, Thunder D3, Scott's Tots. We'll see what happens, man. I'm excited to see what Thunder D3 does. That's that's the second unit over there at Thunder D2. So
I haven't seen Scott's Tots yet. Their first game was last week. I guess I'll see them this week. Oh no, they played 150.
Yeah.
I'll miss them. So, but Scott's Tots. Looking forward to seeing you guys.
Might need to get Guinea on that one. We'll see.
Huh?
I said we might need to get Guinea on that one. We'll see.
Oh yeah, well, everybody got to get a little love on League Pass.
Yeah, we're trying our best. Yeah, to all the teams that should know, we're trying our best to spread out the tape so everybody gets a little bit of love.
Yeah, everybody wants their highlights for Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. We'll get you all on there. Don't worry.
So, Adam, what we been on here? Hour?
It's been an hour, man.
Yo, listen, man. I hope you guys continue to enjoy the podcast. We got some more content coming out tomorrow. Some of a little breakdown of the power ranking, may give some motivation to some teams going into Saturday, but that's my final words. Adam, you?
Growing Pains was a perfect name for this episode. The teams that have growing pains, grow out of them, and the teams that don't have any growing pains right now, let's keep it that way for y'all. I'm gonna shout out Rob. Rob, you are killing it. For you guys don't know, Rob has been leading the media initiative for us this season, and he's obviously doing a better job than any of us have in the past. He's the man for it. Appreciate what you're doing. Appreciate everybody who's helping. I'm looking forward to another week of a really, really good season so far. Jerseys, hopefully next week. We got delayed on the order a bit. That's because you guys kept changing your orders and adding this guy and adding that guy and changing your name and your number and your color. It's okay. But one more week, you should have it by week 4. But appreciate the time.
All right, guys. I guess we out of here. SAFL. Good luck to everybody this Saturday. Adam, you back out there. Good luck to you this Saturday.
Yes,
I hope
sir.
to hear
Thank you.
nothing but good things. Dre, I hope to see big things out this Saturday. All right,
MVP,
fellas.
baby. Let's get it.
Peace.
Peace.